Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dynasty Mode Explanations on NCAA Football 2007. My name is Bill, and I am going to also recap Week 4 as long as do some explanations on Week 5. As you can see, my team, McNary Central, we've got a bye week this week, and when it comes to those key games, I went 2-3. As you can see, Georgia beat LSU, which I got wrong completely. Michie got that much needed win against Maryland, like I predicted. Thank God. And let's see. Michigan State completely obliterated Notre Dame. Aim 31-13, so I got that one wrong, along with the Florida and Tennessee game, but I was right about it being a high-scoring game. I'm calling moral victory on that, but official record, it's a loss. But hey, I'm a moral victory. Unofficially, it's a moral victory, so... And the last game was the Virginia Tech Florida State game. As you can see, Florida State barely edged out Virginia Tech. Excuse me. And with the top 25, with me still being number 1, now Florida State's number 2, Penn State's 3, Ohio State's number 4, Tampa Bay's number 5, West Virginia's 6, Colorado 7th, USC is 8th, Arkansas is 9, Wisconsin's 10th, Michigan's 11th, 12th is Virginia Tech, 13th Arizona State, 14th Texas, 15th North Carolina State. Excuse me there. Note to self, never have soda before I start recording. 17th is Nebraska, 18th is LSU, 19th is Alabama, 20th is Northern Illinois, Oklahoma's 21st, 22nd is Georgia Tech, Minnesota's still 23rd, Florida now jumps up 24th, and they hopped over Oregon, who is now 25th. The media says I'm still number 1 as well. Florida State's the new number 2, along with Ohio State being 3, Penn State 4, Tampa Bay being number 5, 6 being West Virginia, 7th is Colorado, 8th USC, 9th Wisconsin, 10th Arkansas, 11th West Virginia. Here I have to look more closely to their rank instead of the ranking on the screen, because sometimes I'll misread it. They say 12th is Arizona State, 14th is Texas, 14th, my bad, see, 14th is Oklahoma, 15th Michigan, 16th LSU, 17th Alabama, 18th NC State, 19th Northern Illinois, 20th Nebraska, 21st South Carolina, 22nd Georgia, because Maryland's knocked out of the top 25 of the media, 23rd is Florida, 24th is Oregon, 25th is Georgia Tech. And now my bottom 10 for the week. We will start off with a team that I was thinking about having number 1 in the bottom 10 last week, but I chose to make them now, is San Jose State. 10 games, 3 points and... Alright. 10 points in 3 games, and they got shut out 41-0 against Stanford. Number 2 is Connecticut. I mean, at least Connecticut's putting up points, and their last game was against Tampa Bay. See, 56-10 loss. Also, it's like they're also in a tough conference as well, with the Big East having Louisville and West Virginia. But 4 games into the year, you gotta at least try to have some sort of win going into conference play. Number 3, I say, is Kentucky. They're also on a 1-year probation for violating any of the program standards in the game. So they have 10 less scholarships. But that shouldn't really be a reason why you're doing so poorly. I mean, granted, they're in the SEC and they're more of a basketball team anyway. So I see it's like they should try to at least get some more wins and try to improve more. Nevada is number 4 on this because they may be in not as tough a conference as everybody else, but they will eventually go up against San Jose State, And they are a 2-star program. I think they're a 2-star program. Hard to tell yeah, they're a 2-star program, so they're performing to somewhat expectations, but they gotta at least try to win some games as well. Number 5 is a team that was somehow in a bowl game at 4-8 last year. Boston College. See, 0-2 in conference play, and it makes you question how in the world this team even got into a bowl game last season. They got walled in that bowl game as well, so it's no surprising that they should not have belonged there. Number 6, I have Northwestern, because I thought they would be able to start turning it around. As you can see, they did not. They are now 1-3 of the year, heading into conference play, going up against number 10 Wisconsin. And they will definitely have an uphill battle right there. Number 7, I have it being Southern Miss. They got a win over Rice in their last game, aimed by a touchdown, but that still doesn't excuse the fact that they've started off poorly, but hopefully now they can turn this season around and end up in a bowl game. Number 8 I have is Kansas. I mean, they're in the Big 12, so it's going to be tough already, with their next opponent being Nebraska. But they should try to... They're not the best of teams, performing worse than they did last year. At least last year they had a couple of wins at this point. Then they went into the downhill slide. Alright, but they should at least try to perform a bit better. Maybe an upset win against Nebraska should help. Number 9, I have it being Idaho. Idaho is typically bad in this game anyway, so it's like they're probably going to be going up in the rankings next week in the bottom 10. As you can see, they're scoring like the most points out of all of the bottom 10 teams, but they still need to be able to turn around and get a couple of wins. Now they're in the same conference as Nevada and San Jose State, so one of these 3 teams will have to claim a win. And number 10 of my bottom 10 is a team that was still here last week as well, but it's on the bounce back. Miami. They won against North Texas. Granted, it was North Texas, not the best of teams to play, but they now have that win heading into conference play, which I will talk about later in the key matchups, which we will start off the key matchups this week being between number 5 Tampa Bay and number 14 Texas. In this top 15 matchup of 2 undefeated Big 12 teams, a chance to represent the Big 12 South is on the line. Last year, these 2 teams, along with Oklahoma, all tied in conference play at 6-2, but Tampa Bay held the tiebreaker by having wins over both Texas and Oklahoma. This year, this matchup is in Austin, Texas, where last year was in Shocker Stadium in Tampa Bay. And the Longhorns will have home field advantage, of course, and I say this is going to be your typical modern-day Big 12 game where there's going to be a lot of scoring and not that much defense. As you can see, Tampa Bay has more points per game. Both teams are top 10 in conference in the nation when it comes to the points per game. But Tampa Bay's defense can match up well with Texas' offense, as Texas' defense won't be able to match up all that well against Tampa Bay's offense if you're looking overall-wise. Now, if you're looking at the statistics, this will be a good test on these 2 teams' defenses. But I think that the Lightning will prevail on the road in hopes of going back to the Big 12 championship, where they lost to Nebraska last year, and hopefully will win the Big 12 championship this year. My next game is going to be Clemson and Michie. Yes, I know, Michie 2 weeks in a row. Bro, I thought you were trying to focus on your team. I am, and this ain't my team, so. Michie, as I said, got a much needed win last week against Maryland, putting them good footing early in conference play. Their next opponent is Clemson, who have as many wins right now as they did all of last season. So, Clemson will be walking into Mickey's home field named Hell Stadium. And I think that the Devils will be able to hold the Tigers in check. This will set apart on who wants the ACC Atlantic spot for the ACC Championship, if things go well for either team. I say the Clemson Tigers have no chance in hell in beating Mickey with them at home, with the Devil faithful in attendance. The next matchup is going to be the game of the week. Penn State versus Ohio State. A matchup of top 5 teams. 2 undefeated teams planning on claiming the Big Ten championship at the end of the year. And this conference opener for both teams as well. And what a way to start, Both hoping to keep their potential national championship hopes alive. As they both have amazing rosters, with Ohio State having 2 very good running backs that are both impact players. As you can probably guess, the horseshoe will be packed, awaiting to see the best team in all of Ohio play. Sorry for using Cincinnati Bengals and Cleveland Browns, but it's the truth, And I think they will get the win, because they have the 5th best rushing offense going up against the 14th best rushing defense. But I think with their 2 running back duo, they will pick up the win and be able to continue on a path of destruction through the Big Ten into claiming the Big Ten championship. Next is going to be an SEC matchup. And it's a team that everybody seems to love to talk about. Either they hate to love them, or they love to hate them, or they just love to love them. Alabama. And they are going up against the 9th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. I like to say that off by saying, it's a video game when Arkansas is ranked ahead of Alabama. An SEC championship game that will have major implications down the line. Alabama is looking to upset Arkansas at home and ruin any championship hopes for the Razorbacks. Meanwhile, Arkansas is looking to stop any momentum that the Crimson Tide have been building up since their loss to Northern Illinois at the beginning of the year. Again, you can tell this is a video game when Alabama loses to his MAC team. This will be Arkansas's first real test of the year, and I think it will probably be a good close game between the 2 teams, but I say the Alabama Crimson Tide will defeat Arkansas on the fact that Arkansas hasn't really faced off against any real challenges, where Alabama faced a tough opponent in Northern Illinois. So I say with Alabama already having that tough schedule earlier, they will walk into Arkansas's home field and win against the Razorbacks. Roll, Dad, roll. Just let you know I do have that in the script as well, so. And the last game is a game some people probably wouldn't suspect it to be a key game, considering the fact that there's some pretty good matchups like Florida State and Georgia Tech, Colorado and Missouri. We got a pillow fight of the week between San Jose State and Nevada. But the key game is Miami and NC State. Like I said, Miami is coming off their first win of the season and are looking to upset the 15th ranked Wolfpack on the road. Sure, the Hurricanes are 1-3, coming off one against North Texas, which is not the best football program that there is. But I don't think it's going to matter to the U. They're going to come in, they're going to beat the living snot out of the NC State Wolfpack, and they're going to be able to come up with the win and upset any chances that North Carolina State will possibly make it to the AC Championship game this year. Here. Now, overall wise, yes, you can see why I'm saying Miami. And if you're looking at stats, you're questioning why in the world am I saying Miami. But as you can tell by overall, I think Miami will win. And as you can see, there are a couple of other good games that I'll go and cover ad-lib as well. Like, excuse me. San Jose State and Nevada. I say Nevada's going to win based on the fact that and San Jose just basically sucks. They're on a 10-game losing streak. And the Florida State Georgia Tech game, I say that it's going to be a good close one, but I'm going to say Georgia Tech's going to lose to Florida State and won't have a chance to make it back to the national championship. Colorado, Missouri, this is going to be a good game on who's going to be able to get to the Big 12 championship. And I think that it's going to be a close one. I say it's going to go to overtime, but I'm saying Missouri's going to get the upset as well. So, that's going to be it for this week. As we can go in and see that the article is 30 and counting. The winning streak is intact after a huge victory, which they're talking about my team, of course. As they will always do because of the fact that I am undefeated. See, 4-0, 30-game win streak. Crazy scoreline, I know. But that is going to be it for this video. And as you can see, I have no game this week, so expect another video uploaded in the near future. Maybe by tomorrow after this has been posted up for week 6. And I will see you all next time.